And that is that Virgil out?
That's Virgil out, and here comes the snake.
Uh-huh.
By the way, Jake tells a great story about how he got this look. Of course, when he was in Mid South before he came to work for Vince, he wore karate pants and had pull on boots.
Uh-huh.
Because Vince wanted neon tights and snakeskin boots, and to carry a snake to the ring. And of course, as you hear Jake say, he's like, "Hey, I'm scared of snakes, and I wear karate pants." And I've calculated how much time I save by not having lace up boots and just having pull on boots. So I don't think I'm going to do any of that. And allegedly, according to Jake, Vince wrote down a number on a little sheet of paper and slid it over and said, "Well, someone I'm going to call Jake the Snake, who's going to wear neon tights and lace up boots and carry a snake to the ring, is going to make this amount of money." And allegedly, Jake said something like, "Where's the snake? Let me meet him." And here we are. But think about just what legendary, iconic characters. I mean, on some level, Jake the Snake and the $1 Million Man became like pop culture icons. It wouldn't have
Mhm.
been out of place for them to show up, as silly as it sounds, at a Hollywood award show. Like if they were at the Emmys or something like that, people would be like, "Well, yeah, they're big television star. Everybody knows who they are."
Sure. We did a shoot. I may have mentioned this before, but we did a shoot using Edit One that you just saw, and using the studio that Bobby and Gorilla are in right now, where Jake and I'm sure it's out there somewhere where Jake did this stand up where he had all these different snakes.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I remember being in Edit One and watching him do that. And he was like, he kept saying to himself, "Okay, okay, I'm a freaking idiot. I'm all here of all these goddamn snakes." He was talking to himself, and he was literally petrified about what he was doing because I think he had rattlesnakes. I think he had a cobra. They had all these different fucking snakes. And I watched it from Edit One because I was not going to go in that fucking studio with all those fucking snakes around. But I remember him talking to himself between takes, and you could hear him, and he was like telling himself how fucking big of an idiot he was for for handling all these snakes. So
These back and forth promos here are fantastic. And we know that this feud, I mean, let's remember now, a lot of this stuff was shot in late April and very early May of 1989. But they're going to keep this going and pay it off at next year's WrestleMania
yeah,
in Toronto. And this story allegedly has to be reworked midstream. That's at least according to 411 Mania's recap, or as you call it, the 411 fuck sheet.
hmm
They pointed out that the angle would have to be reworked midstream because I guess Jake had a little trouble with the law in this era. Do you remember that?
don't remember that. No, but
Uh, Whenever we
that'll.
say 411 fuck sheet, I think about our pal Eddie Kingston,
hmm
who I know was involved in some big time stuff over the weekend, and he's slotted to be in a pretty prime time spot at Double or Nothing. The rumor and innuendo, though,
mm.
is that Eddie might be hurting a little bit. Do you know of any update on Eddie? Is he going to be okay?
I haven't. I haven't. But thank you for bringing that up. I will text him right now. See how he's doing. Tim Horner is another remnant or casualty of the Jim Hurt era, right?
Oh yeah.
No, I mean Tim. Uh, Jim Cornette one time said, I thought it was pretty hilarious that, and I know I'll get it wrong, that Tim Horner, when he does a promo, is kind of like a guilty man trying to make believe he's innocent, or something to that effect. Wasn't the greatest promo, but Tim and Brad Armstrong were a very good team and did some great stuff. They weren't big stars, but they were a very good team and they were used a lot. So now Jim Hurt's taken over WCW and Tim Horner has moved on as enhancement talent for the Warlord. Saw the Warlord and Barbarian. They still go out together
Yeah, they do.
and make appearances. I saw them from a distance when I was at WrestleCon in Philadelphia during WrestleMania weekend, and just saw them. There's, when you go to these events, as someone who's been in wrestling for a long time, when you go to these events, you kind of like you don't want to get up and walk away from your table because there's a lot of people around, right?
Right.
which you want to go around and say hello to everybody. But I just,
Look at that power slam there.
yeah, man.
Hey, let me ask you something. According to 411mania.com,
Oh God,
or as you call it,
411 fuck
411
shit.
fuck sheet,
Yeah.
Horner's fate is kind of funny. He quit the NWA because he refused a job to Lyle Alzado's character on an episode of Learning the Ropes and ended up signing to the WWF to be a jobber. So he refuses to job in a fake worked wrestling match, and the only work he can find is doing jobs in the real worked wrestling matches. I
Huh.
didn't know that. Is that real?
Don't know that. Well, you know, obviously, it 411 fuck sheet reports that it's real because they
Well,
know.
listen, I mean, they read that in the Observer, or the Torch, or a book somewhere, or heard it in a shoot interview. It's not like they made it up.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do find it funny that once upon a time, man, you had to. I can't lose on TV.
yeah,
I'm out of here. Now I'll just lose
on TV.
on TV.
Yeah, that paycheck will. That paycheck will change your mind. I don't know if you noticed this. We were watching Tim Horner and the Barbarian, and hopefully everybody is watching along with us, if you can. I know some of you guys drive trucks out there and you're just listening to us bullshit, which is great. We love you. Thanks. But if you're watching along, I don't know if you noticed right there, but they had Wrestling Challenge, the banner. They had the WWF logo still there, but the banner Wrestling Challenge, the name Wrestling Challenge was blurred out. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but someone owns that trademark, believe it or not. WWE let it lapse. Somebody got it, and so
And
they actually had to spend quite a bit of money going back and blurring it out. It probably would have been easier just to make the guy an offer, but I don't know what the deal is there. I just know for sure that it was a trademark issue.
yeah, well, you know, everybody thinks they can book.
I wonder where
Everybody,
that nameplate is for the brain. You know, the WWF and the brain number one. Like everybody used to have those on their desk way back when. I don't think that's as common now, but his being a custom wood one, I hope that's yeah. I hope his daughter has that on a shelf somewhere or something because
yeah,
that's a cool little memento for dad.
yeah, that sure is.
So how about this look? We got Greg the Hammer Valentine coming out with the Honky Tonk Man. And their presentation looks like $1,000,000 here. I mean, that is clearly an Olivia Walker robe that
Hmm.
Greg's wearing. Is that Mike McGurk doing the ring announcing?
Sure is. Mike McGurk was at the breakfast we had at WrestleCon for High Spots. First time I'd seen her, and she actually surprised me when I went down, introduced everybody, and went, "Holy shit, there's Mike McGurk."